What's up, everybody? It's your boy Heems, and guys, we are back with another reaction video. Today, our suggestion comes from the homie Eternal Zero Flame. If I'm pronouncing your name correctly, just let me know. If I didn't, I apologize in advance. But today's reaction is actually based off of Dragon Ball GT power levels. And that's always been a debate. And full disclosure, if y'all didn't already know, your boy is a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. I've watched Dragon Ball since I could even talk. That's a lie. I've started since I was like in 5th grade. Like I remember, and it was perfect because the timing of it was literally right at the Saiyan Saga or towards the end of the fight with Raditz, the final part where Goku dies and then goes to the outer world and does the travel, and I got to see all that to Saiyan Saga and so forth. That being said, I remember one day my dad had bought this game called Dragon Ball GT Final Bout for PlayStation. That was my very first PlayStation game. I remember seeing all these different characters and the Saiyan Son Goku, this and that. I'm like, wait, is that Goku's son? What's going on? But all that was to say was like that was a glimpse of the future of sagas and things to come. And then you watch certain characters' names pop out like Cell, but that doesn't look like the Cell that was in the game. So you actually get to see this stuff unfold. Like it was crazy over the years. And then finally, I remember back in 2004, they had released GT. Now, we're first watching GT. I loved it just based off of the fact of like I was so curious to see Super Saiyan 4 animated compared to the game, and by far one of the coolest forms I've seen at that time. So it was like to see that live was awesome. But then watching it a few years later after that, or just watching over the continued years, you've seen different comments where people either speculated on it. They said the power levels was constantly fluctuating in between. There was no real consistency. And at times it even made me question, like, yeah, how exactly strong was majority of the characters? To anybody out there too, and I know this may come up as a controversial subject, and I'm more than willing to open up to that. To anybody that has links to that, I would appreciate it. But even to go as far as to say, who's even stronger between Dragon Ball GT and Dragon Ball Super, between both the Super Saiyan form, a Super Saiyan 4 form to Super Saiyan God? I'm curious to see. My personal belief, and I'm willing to be corrected on that, is that Super Saiyan God already kind of kills all of that and it kind of threw everything out. But there are others that actually say Super Saiyan 4 actually beats Super Saiyan God. So I'm curious to hear what you guys got to say. And with that, leading up to what Eternal Zero Flame just sat there and suggested for us to actually see the accurate levels of power for Dragon Ball GT. This will be, is 3 links to this. We're reacting to the first one. Guys, smash that like button for your boy. Don't forget to subscribe to your boy Heemscast Gaming. We're going to try to work through also part 2 and part 3 as the days and weeks and stuff goes on. To everybody out there, if you want to watch me stream, I stream Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern with late starts between 6:15, 6:30, and 7 p.m. Weekends are open schedule, so anything goes. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Trovo, and DLive. I stream on all 5 platforms at the exact same time. Currently, guys, we're working through Dead Space. We got Red Dead Redemption. We got High on Life. We got Forspoken. Atomic Heart is around the corner, and more games to come, guys. So make sure you tune in, check your boy out. And last but not least, follow your boy on Instagram, Twitter, Discord, and Snapchat for updates and more. Your boy's work schedule is between 6 to 8 days a week. The grind is real for your boy. And make sure you follow me on the YouTube community as well, as I try to update that at least once a day, if not every other day or 2. Without further ado, let's check this out.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jay, and in this one we're here to talk about one of the most controversial series in all of Dragon Ball GT. Listen, from a writing standpoint, we all know this isn't a masterpiece, but we can all agree that it has produced some of the best characters and most powerful characters we have seen in Dragon Ball to date. And yes, I include Super in this. Dragon Ball GT definitely has a negative stigma surrounding it.
How dare you? But that's exactly what people have been debating on. They even did, like, I'll say this before we continue. They paid a homage to anybody that played Dragon Ball Fighter Z. If you actually did it's like a little cutscene that plays where both GT Gogeta versus Dragon Ball Super movie Super Saiyan Blue God form, or Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan technically, go at it with each other with a dual Kamehameha, and Super Saiyan 4 somehow won. I was like, what? How is that possible? Like, and it threw me off. But continue.
That fabricates negative viewpoints on it, but we're going to look past all of that today, because today is not about how it was written, but how it was produced and shown through power. Because this is the first video of many of how strong is Dragon Ball GT really. Alright, so before we can go ahead in Dragon Ball GT, we first have to go back to Dragon Ball Z. The reason we do this is because the Dragon Ball Z Final Chapters Goku is the Goku that we're going to be scaling in Dragon Ball GT. He later becomes here 5 years after the tournament. So let's analyze this Goku real quick. It's been 10 years after Buu, and he's been training every single day, doing normal Goku stuff. And we all know when Goku trains, he gets exponentially times stronger than he ever was before. With 7 years of training, Goku was able to unlock Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3 in Otherworld. This Goku has had 10 years of training and can obviously be stated to have passed any limits that he had prior to this. A lot of people like to say that this Goku is as strong as his old Super Saiyan 3 in his base form. And I can already smell the comments already. There's no way he's this powerful in his base form.
It seems impossible, but it is very well, because the thing is, like, he was training, because I remember when he sat there and made his final words to Buu, King Yama heard that and actually allowed him to come back. So it's not really a far-fetched, I mean, for Goku to train as much as he has, because I always wondered that, like, if Goku was still an adult in Dragon Ball GT, how much of a difference in power was he? Now, some people even had argued that the only thing that really was lost was his stamina. Like, he had the strength, but his stamina, because he even, if you remember him fighting General Rildo, he was like, you got to watch out for him. And he's smiling. He's like, this guy is even stronger than Majin Buu. But then again, even saying that, and that opens the door. Well, which Majin Buu are we talking about? Are we talking about Kid Buu? We talking about just Mr. Buu? But the fact that Goku could handle him at his normal form, that too kind of opens up to, like, how strong he really is.
Form. But there is a lot of evidence pointing that this may be true. If you remember, Goku was confident that Oob could beat Majin Buu and Vegeta in this tournament, and Majin Buu is obviously scaled to be Super Saiyan 3 level, if not a little weaker. All this information is further backed up by Goku when he says this to Hercule.
Though it's always possible that someone besides us or Buu could make it to the finals, then you're on your own.
By saying this, Goku's obviously implying that Oob is more powerful, or has the potential to be more powerful than him, Vegeta, and Buu. And like I said before, Buu is relevant to Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That means Oob has to be relative to Goku's old Super Saiyan 3 in the Buu saga. And if Goku was able to beat him, then that means Goku also must be relevant to his old Super Saiyan 3. It only makes sense. Now, with all the evidence that's been shown, we can obviously say that this Goku is somewhat relevant to his old Super Saiyan 3 leading into Dragon Ball GT. And no, I don't think that Goku in his base form is Super Saiyan 3 level yet, but he definitely is knocking on the door of that level of power leading into Dragon Ball GT. Now, finally, we're in Dragon Ball GT. Dragon Ball GT begins with Goku versus Oob in the ceremony battle 5 years after the tournament. Goku and Oob have gotten much stronger, and this obviously means that Oob is done with his training. Goku back in Dragon Ball Z wished that Kid Buu would come back good, as someone he can train against and fight.
Maybe you'll come back someday, as a better person, I hope. I'd like that. Perhaps we'll have a little one-on-one.
King Yama obviously granted this wish and created Oob. Oob is the reincarnation of Kid Buu, so it's only fair to say that Oob, since he's completed his training, is now the level of Kid Buu, if not greater. And this further proves the point that Goku is far surpassed Super Saiyan 3 in his base form, since he's able to keep up with a newly Kid Buu powered Oob. Now, as I go into my next points, just keep in mind that the Goku in his base...
And I can see that too, as far as like with his strength wise, because at this point, 5 years later, Oob has gotten even stronger. So for even Goku to still like go toe to toe with him in his normal form, I even go as far as to say like he pretty much superseded Super Saiyan 3 at that time frame. And if he goes Super Saiyan at this point, like they say it's like and to anybody out there, Dragon Ball fans, to anybody that can help me with this, they usually say like a Super Saiyan is like a power multiplier. So it's like it only just further enhances, but his base is already so damn strong.
Base form at the start of Dragon Ball GT has now easily surpassed Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Now, on a chart it should look like this. We have End of Z Goku, and then we have Kid Buu, or Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and then we have start of Dragon Ball GT Goku being stronger than all of them. In the very first saga of Dragon Ball GT, we begin a benchmark for Goku. Goku and the gang go up against Lord Lude in his Stage 3 form. This Lord Lude in his Stage 3 form easily surpasses Super Saiyan Goku, because Super Saiyan Goku needs the help of Super Saiyan Trunks to take him down. And we obviously know Goku in his base form is leagues above Kid Buu.
Now, I want to know at this stage, because this is where a lot of people complained about Dragon Ball GT. I myself even complained about this a bit. And that was that I hated how they pretty much kind of threw away a lot of the characters, especially as the saga continued. You saw it to where in the very beginning, it was like everybody helped. Like one of the things I liked about the Baby Saga was like it, to me, even though it didn't really do a good job of it, it allowed everybody a momentary chance to shine or highlight some of their powers and capabilities, even for a short glimpse. Like, you know, Goten as an adult, like where's Goten at in his life compared to what he was as a kid, to Trunks, to Pan, Vegeta actually got a chance to actually shine again as he was fighting his way through Gohan becoming a Super Saiyan. But you also see almost like that kind of a difference even in that fight when both Gohan and Goten get possessed and they're trying to hit Goku, and like he's at his normal form as a kid, he's just deflecting, pops them a couple times, and they're back at their normal base. Like, and it's like it's even questions of that. So like, was Goku just what? I think to be fair, that what Goku was already much stronger than them. But in a sense, it still allowed them to kind of highlight their powers. I know you guys are like, what the hell is he talking about? Help me out here, guys. I really appreciate that. But I guess what I'm trying to say in short, it was like, at least what I appreciated about the Saiyan Saga was that it gave everybody a chance to kind of shine or show their power for a time being. But even saying that and showing that part of Lude, how strong was Trunks? Was Trunks either as strong as Goku's Super Saiyan 3 base form at that time? Or is he weaker? I would love to know that.
And when he goes Super Saiyan, it obviously makes him 50 times stronger than that, and Lord Lude surpasses that. So this is a benchmark for Super Saiyan Goku to scale him further in Dragon Ball GT. So just keep this in mind. Lord Lude is over Super Saiyan Goku. A couple months pass in the same saga, and Goku goes up against the Sigma Force robots.
Yep.
These robots are comparable to Lord Lude because Goku says this in a quote. He says, "It's been a long time since I've met anyone as awesome as you." When he says this, he's obviously referring to anyone that he's been fighting up to this point. That includes Lord Lude, who it took Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Trunks to fend off. Now with a threat that is comparable to Lord Lude, this must have caused Goku some trouble. But absolutely not. Goku in his base form was more than strong enough to destroy the robot. And if you remember, Lord Lude was stronger than Goku's old Super Saiyan. And now his...
And that's where the little bit of the inconsistency come in. So at one point, okay, Lord Lude was stronger. He had to go Super Saiyan. He even needed Trunks' help. But either this guy or the Sigma Force, they were either just as strong as Lude, if not stronger, but he handled them in his normal form as a kid. Now, the argument is that Goku never lost strength as a kid. He just lost the stamina. Others believe that his power was cut.
Base form is taking on an even more powerful opponent than Lord Lude. This would imply that Goku at bare minimum got 50 times stronger than his old Super Saiyan from the Lord Lude arc, which would make him 2,500 times stronger than his previous base form. And if you want to...
Now, I'm wondering at this point, when they say that, does this also pertain to the Zenkai boost? Because the Zenkai boost was kind of lost out after Frieza Saga. It's not talked about as much after... Yeah, it really wasn't. It wasn't implied or talked about at all since the Frieza Saga. You had the Android Saga. Even the Buu saga, even like when Gohan got revived during his fight with Buu-Tinks, aka Gohan, or Gotenks absorbed Majin Buu. You see him get back up after Dende heals, and it's like, okay, did he get a power boost? But it's like, it doesn't seem like that stuff applied any further later in the show. So who's to say maybe that was a part of that? Because that's even interesting that he might be even stronger than what he was.
Compare this to Dragon Ball Z, this would make Goku 2,500 plus times stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku in the Buu arc. For a better visual of where everyone stands.
And I'm not gonna lie, I like this person's channel. Let me just real quick, just so I can see his name. Kazi, like his delivery is really good. I love the music, it's relaxing, and it's the way he explained it. Really, I don't know, it really does something to you. And it actually, honestly, because I've been kind of thinking about getting this, I wanted to get the Funimation collection of Dragon Ball Z, which is so hard to find. I just wanted the original music that I grew up with on Toonami. So to anybody out there, if you know a site I could check out, if you know if I could find a good deal on the DVDs, please let me know. But I also wanted to get GT included just for nostalgia.
Have base form Goku in the Lute arc gets 50 times stronger to get to his Super Saiyan, and his Super Saiyan is weaker than Lord Lute and the Sigma Force robot. And his base form in the Rildo arc now dominates the Sigma Force, who is comparable to Lord Lute in strength, meaning that his Super Saiyan is now 50 times weaker than his base form in the Rildo arc. Now we could finally move on to a real heavy hitter and a real controversial character in Dragon Ball GT, General Rildo. General Rildo has a lot of controversy surrounding him because we don't know where he scales in terms of power because of the misinterpretation of this quote by Goku. Goku states, and I quote, "It's even greater than Buu's." There's a lot of controversy going around about which Buu Goku was referring to. Could he have meant Fat?
What did I say? Did I just say that? It was like, was it Mr. Buu or Big? Yeah, was it the original Majin Buu? Was it Super Buu? Was it Super Buu absorbed, or was it Kid Buu?
Buu or Kid Buu, or even the strongest Buu, Buuhan. Well, obviously, we can rule out Fat Buu because he's weaker than Kid Buu, and Goku right now is leagues above Kid Buu. And it also can't be Kid Buu because why would Goku be worried about General Rildo if he's 2,500?
And I want to know something. I always wanted to know this. Was Kid Buu stronger than Buuhan, or is Buuhan stronger than Kid Buu? If anybody can answer that one, I would greatly appreciate that.
Times stronger than Kid Buu. In these two quotes from Goku, Goku's obviously worried about General Rildo, saying that he's very strong and he doesn't compare to anyone that they faced up till now, and he just fought the Sigma Force robot. So that only leaves one more Buu, and that's Buuhan. He says in this quote that General Rildo is stronger than Buuhan from Dragon Ball Z. Now let's address something in Dragon Ball GT when Goku is fighting General Rildo. General Rildo says this when Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan.
Your power has increased 100-fold.
Unfortunately, we can't use this in a scale because it's just bad dubbing by the English voice actors. The original quote back in Dragon Ball GT by General Rildo in the subversion is this: "Up till now, you haven't even been putting out half of your power." When General Rildo says this, he's not trying to say that Goku got 100 times stronger from base form to Super Saiyan, but only that he got exponentially times stronger than he ever was before. Enough to make General Rildo think that he's not even using half of his power. Now, the question going through your head probably right now is, where does Vegito fall in this scale?
Yeah.
Vegito was obviously a little stronger than Buuhan in his base form, but it was never clear that Vegito could have easily destroyed Buuhan in his base form. In the manga, Vegito never even used base form to fight Buuhan. He went,
And that's another one, because I was like, man, Vegito was dominating him for a minute. I was like, so at that point, going to Super Buu, was that even needed? Could he have beat him in his normal form? And we about to get a little taste of what the manga says.
straight to Super Saiyan.
Oh, damn.
Base form Vegito versus Buhan is more of a filler than anything, similar to how Super Saiyan 2 Goku versus Kid Buu was a filler thing.
What?
And it never happened in the manga, but they're both canon, so I guess we can use both to scale. So
That's actually pretty cool. See, yeah, I got to start getting some collections, guys. As you see later on, I'm going to try to expand our shelves. I want to even get like the One Piece manga set. I have a general idea of like everything that's going on with One Piece, but I would really like to thoroughly understand the story and everything else, which is why I want to try to cop and collect that whenever I humanly possibly can. Bear with me for just 1 second. There we go. All right, let's continue.
if you want to count Vegito to be stronger than Buhan in his base form, you can, but that's not going to steer away from the fact that General Rildo is also stronger than Buhan in his base form. And I think that they're relevant to each other since they're both shown and stated to be stronger than Buhan. Now, since we have a grasp that base Vegito and base Rildo are equal to each other or relevant to each other, we can obviously put base form Goku over both of them, since base form Goku dominates base Rildo. Now, this also puts Super Saiyan...
It almost makes it shocking when you hear that, but then it's like you think about how many years have passed and Goku's training. It is possible. It is quite possible to be stronger even than Vegito. Because like you think of Vegito and Goku, and like that was like the ultimate fusion, the ultimate power. But yeah, that was of its time 10 years back. Or
in Vegito equivalent...
Technically 15 years, since we're adding the 5 years that Goku left to go train with Oob.
With this form of Rildo, since this form of Rildo is obviously fused with the Sigma Force robot and created with the intent to beat Super Saiyan Goku. Now, this version of Rildo put up a fight against Super Saiyan Goku, but Goku clearly had the edge. So it wasn't until Rildo got his third transformation that finally put him over Super Saiyan Goku. Now, let's add these characters to the chart. First things first, Buhan. Buhan is weaker than base Vegito and base General Rildo. And those two are weaker than base Goku in the Rildo arc. Followed by that is second form General Rildo, followed by Super Saiyan Goku, and then finally your winner for this video, Stage 3 General Rildo being stronger than Super Saiyan Goku. Now, to put into perspective how strong he is, he's 125,000 times stronger than base Goku at the beginning of Dragon Ball GT. And if you want to talk about Dragon Ball Z, he's 125,000 plus times stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Jesus.
Or 50 million times stronger than base Goku at the beginning of the Buu arc. So I'm going to stop the video right here and save the rest of the information for the next two parts. The next two videos will finish up the scale and get a good grasp on how strong Dragon Ball GT truly is. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, drop a like and consider subscribing. This is my first video on the channel, and if you guys want to see more content like this, let me know. But overall, let me know what you guys think about this scale, or if there were any thoughts or ideas that I might have skipped over, or points you may disagree on. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.
You know what? Let's go ahead and subscribe to this man. And I'm going to go ahead and hit that like button for him. Honestly, this dude gives you a lot to sit here and think about. And I'm not going to lie. This makes me want to go back and actually watch the series. Because, yeah, that was always a thing. And like I said before, Super came along. GT was it. So it was like, for me, Super Saiyan 4 was like the top peak of power and, you know, anything that Goku could grasp. Now, that's always been a controversy now with Super. A lot of people are like, Super doesn't count. But Toriyama is behind it. So it's like, and that was the one thing that a lot of people don't, as far as canon, and this is arguable. And like I said, once again, I'm willing to have everybody feel free to drop it on these comments. Just keep it clean, but hey, I'm open to all debates and discussions and links to any other videos that may prove otherwise. But Toriyama gave the green light to GT, but he was not involved in it. He was involved in Dragon Ball Z, and there was manga, and one thing people talk about, like with manga, if they have it in the manga, and then you see that's canon. Even if it's not, like, even that little filler fight between, like, you know, Vegito being normal up and until he went Super Saiyan, but it was all still considered canon. There was never any comics, or at least that I know of or can recall, of Dragon Ball GT. But they did actually make it, at the very least, the sequel or canon to the show, to carry on the show. And a lot of people were huge fans of Dragon Ball Z. They didn't want it to end, so they had got the green light through Toriyama to go ahead and do it. Dragon Ball Super, Toriyama had involvement in, for better or for worse. And they even made manga for it, so it's like that's the continuation thus far. Now, there are glimpses, and you do see where they're basically leading up to what is to be, if not a GT anymore, but something of a GT, or whatever their version of what the future will look like. So I'm curious as to how they're going to pull that off. If to anybody that's reading the manga now, they're even showing like Trunks and Goten. It's just right before Dragon Ball Super Hero, but it still gives me GT vibes of what's coming as time goes on. Pan is much older now, you know, but what I like with this, though, I'll say compared to GT, and that was always something I saw over the years, was like, you know, Gohan got the butt end of the power stick. Pause. He never got a chance to really continue to keep up with everybody. And so for me at that time in GT, seeing Gohan go Super Saiyan, him fighting his brother, and immediately I was like, damn, he can't go Mystic no more. So yeah, time went by, but it was like, that was a cool highlight just to see Gohan fight for a minute, and me being a fan of Gohan. With Super, I like that they really gave him a chance to get himself back, even though he was only gone for a fraction of a second. And Superhero highlighted that for him and even gave him a new form. So I'm hoping, with that being said, that somewhere in this future of their version of GT now, that maybe, I don't know, maybe Gohan will be concluded with everybody else and where they are. Even Vegeta was outshined in GT until he became Super Saiyan 4 as well. A lot of characters in the early beginning of GT was cool, but then they got outshined almost immediately, leading up both towards the end of Baby Saga to going up to, of course, the Shadow Dragon, which was basically the final series. And yeah, as far as the power levels, like, it definitely piques my curiosity, and it does kind of fit in, because that just never was it. It was just always, yeah, in the beginning everybody kind of had their highlight, but then it was like everybody just felt, because like when the Super 17 saga came out, even Majub, which is basically Majin Buu and Oob combined, that power was like nothing. And you know, Vegeta gets knocked out, and he's been training just as much as Goku, or maybe not as much, but close to. But yet it was like, yeah, the dude just got thrown to the wayside. So I would like to watch this further. I want to see more into the power levels for later. I don't know if he'll even discuss, like, with the Shadow Dragons, Omega Shenron, or anything like that, but I would love to see that. To everybody out there, I hope you enjoyed this reaction. I hope you enjoyed my commentary or my thoughts and critique on it. To everybody out there, once again, keep it cool and friendly, but if you have your own input on this, or you want to say more, please drop comments below. I would really appreciate that. And if you have any links pertaining to anything that we've said thus far that you would like me to check out, drop those in too, or check me out at my Gmail at HeemsCastGamingYT@gmail.com. Make sure you put the subject as well as your name so I can shout you out, and the link to the actual video. Sometimes people post links into the YouTube comments, and it does work. Sometimes it gets removed. So to everybody out there, please, if you'd be so kind as to take advantage of the email, I would greatly appreciate that. But to everybody, it's your boy HeemsCast Gamer signing out. I'll see you guys soon with more content. To everybody out there, peace. Till the next video.